All right. Hello, beautiful vegans. I mean, beautiful people. I don't know what channel I'm on. Okay, well, that should tell you this is our first live stream of Harmonic Earth Healers, and it's alive, right? So, all right, here we go.
Well, you were just projecting from the future when that will be the case, when the whole planet will be vegan. So,
Oh my gosh, it's a
mhm.
funny day. All right, so this is an exciting day. Our first episode of Harmonic Earth Healers live stream, and I'm Mariquita Solis, and I'm here with a wonderful singer-songwriter, beautiful activist, storyteller, so much more speaker, Tes Kempner. She is joining me. And we're going to be really talking about our divine light and how we can turn that light on and how important we are to Mother Earth, how we everything we do makes an impact on this planet. So, welcome, Tess. Thank you for joining me. And whoever's watching, please let us know in the comments where you're joining from. If you have any questions, if you want to say, hey, we don't make a difference, or you want to say whatever
Uh-huh.
you want to say. If you don't agree with us, we're all up for discussion. So, welcome, Tess.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. It's my delight to be here, and I'm so honored. I didn't actually realize this was your inaugural episode, so I feel especially honored that you asked me. I'm excited to get into it with you.
Yes, I'm excited too because I know that you're very connected with Mother Earth and very passionate about helping people heal and connecting to their inner light. And so, tell me what the title, Your Role in the Divine Plane, means to you.
So I feel very fortunate that my life journey from a very early age led me to a deep interest, passion for acting, and I was in a lot of school plays, and then I went to college and I got my degree in theater, and I pursued a career in stage, film, and television, both in New York and Los Angeles for a long time and studied a lot. And one of the things I realized when I got onto my spiritual path is that the basics of acting 101 are applicable to creating your own reality and acting as if and immersing ourselves in imaginary circumstances. And the first rule of improv is saying yes to what is, because when you say yes, you open to possibilities, and when you shout no, you close the door, and nothing can change, and in fact you create more of what you don't want. So it really started to strike me all the parallels and metaphors. Shakespeare said, "All the world's a stage, all the men and women merely players." And so I started to actually take that literally and to see each and every one of us as a character in the divine play, and that each and every one of us has the opportunity to see ourselves as the star of our own life show rather than being a insignificant bit player, but we're all on our own hero's journey. And so if we start to see it as a play, like if you believe in God, or if you don't want to call it God, call it, creator, source, infinite intelligence. I mean, there's any number of words that may be less triggering for people, but but in that amorphous perfection, there was sameness all the time. And so for the sake of amusement, our creator devised this set upon which we get to stand and take on personalities and forms and characteristics, and in our taking and interact in different scenes and circumstances. And just like in acting, if an actor gets too overly identified with their role and they can't tell the difference between their character and themselves, we would describe that as a psychosis. And so here in the divine play, we have over identified with our characters. And so we suffer a lot. Whereas if we could retain a certain portion of our awareness to be in the observer mode, to be in the witness, to go, okay, my character is immersed in these circumstances, but I, as the divine, imperishable soul, am whole and safe. And, and from that perspective, there is a lot more power because our power is in our perspective, how we choose to deal with our circumstances, much more than the circumstances themselves, because we're going to go through whatever we're going to go through in our evolutionary journey for our soul. But if we can go through it with a certain sense of, no matter what I'm going through, I'm fine and I'm going to emerge fine from it, it gives us a lot more peace and breathing room, no matter what the circumstance. So that's how it started for me, and it's really evolved to be a place that I get a lot of comfort from living in and sharing with others.
Yes, because you have the power to change the outcome of your life. It sounds like what you're saying is that definitely that you're not a victim anymore. You can see and observe what are the behaviors that are creating this experience, and how can I change, and how can I shift, and that's part of life.
Yes, and in fact, if you ever watch any interviews with any actors, the juiciest roles, the ones that are the most fun to sink their teeth into, are the ones that are the most complicated, are the ones where their characters go through so much, because ultimately we want that transcendence, that triumph. And so if we are aware of ourselves as the actor and as the character, we can determine when our character's turning point is. And we don't have to maintain a victim role start to finish. We can determine at any point that this is where my character gets their power, you know, and start living from that place. So there's a lot more freedom and fun, actually, fun when we can, because if we over identify with our character and we over identify with the circumstances that take place in our world, I mean, it's easy to want to leave here. It's really, it can be incredibly painful. If we see ourselves as actors, and this is a really juicy role that we have been privileged to be cast in, to get to have a part in the divine play, then we're blessed. We're blessed regardless. So yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Well, yeah, it definitely is, and it's also like allowing the play to develop, right?
Mhm.
You're an actor in this play. I wonder what's going to happen tomorrow, instead of, a lot of times we make the mistake of saying, I know this is going to happen, or we're setting things up like this has to happen, instead of just being the actor in the play to see what happens and then what goes next and to go with the flow. I mean, that's a whole different experience, and it's very refreshing. It's not that's not the right word. It's freeing. We don't have to control, or we're not controlling, and we allow.
Yes, and at the same time, if you were an actor and your agent sent you the script and you read the script all the way through and you already knew that there was going to be a happy ending, that the light will prevail, then it'll make it easier to go through all the dark scenes, because there's a little place in you that knows, okay, my character's going through all this, and the light will prevail. So we're going to have the happily ever after, and that makes it much more fun. Yeah.
Right. Yes. And
Mhm.
you're not, again, that living in that victim mode is, you're not going to get anywhere when we create from victim. So as a feminine empowerment coach, it's like we cannot create from this depletion, this energy of depletion, or where we are, where there's lack, right? And so you're talking about living from gratitude. And how do you sustain gratitude in your life?
Well, it's definitely a practice. It's a muscle that needs to get built, especially if if your family of origin wasn't oriented that way and you're having to find it for yourself. I mean, I had an experience a couple of years ago where I went to um, outside of Puerto Vallarta. I went to this little rainforest town, and I did 6 days of plant medicine journey with a shaman, and we did 3 days with two different medicines, and then the first of each day of each medicine we focused on the maternal lineage, the second day the paternal lineage, and the third day me. And as I was purging, because that's what happens when you do these medicine journeys, it sort of activates all the darkness in you that needs to come up and out. He kept repeating over and over for me to say after him, thank you, Mother. Thank you, Father. Thank you, God. Thank you for my beautiful life. And I was so resistant because I was like, it hasn't been a beautiful life. It's been a painful life. It's been a really hard life. I can't say. And he kept saying over and over, thank you, Mother. Thank you, Father. Thank you, God. Thank you for my beautiful life. And it really took me a while to realize that that is the power. That is the gift, is that when we recognize, like I said before, is like when an actor gets a script and the character is, filled with challenges and it's complex, that's a juicy role to sink their teeth into. And so if we get that all of our challenges are gifts, every single obstacle and hurdle that we get to overcome is an opportunity for us to expand, evolve, find our power. Because if we just came in and everything was wonderful, we wouldn't necessarily appreciate how wonderful it is. So it's the contrast that strengthens us and causes us to come to a place of profound appreciation that we get to be here. We get to be here in these bodies. It is a mind-blowing miracle. It is a sacred privilege, and we're so conditioned to the mundane that we miss it. We miss how miraculous and, you know, beyond the odds that we are chosen to be walking on this earth, and I think that the more we celebrate that, the healthier we become and the longer we can stay. And our perspective shifts from wanting to get out of here to wanting to stay, to actually starting to like really enjoy and feel grateful for being here.
Right. And I mean, that's very powerful, everything you said. And what about people that can't see the gifts? What's blocking them?
Well, I think that if we're if we're lacking love, if we haven't been raised to feel cherished, if we've had the opposite of that, then there's this sense of not belonging. There's this sense of our creator made a mistake, and we shouldn't be here. And so we feel separate and probably filled with a lot of shame and grief, and mostly trying to go around hiding it because those energies are tend to be off-putting and toxic. And so it's like a self-fulfilling experience that if a person feels bad about themselves, they're emitting a vibe that is repelling to others, and then they get more evidence of how undesirable and unworthy they are. And so it's a vicious cycle. And usually, I think there's some sort of a divine intervention that happens at some point where a person sees a little spark of goodness reflected back at them, and they start to question their own negative self-assessment, and that becomes the opening, you know.
Well, I see what you're saying because I felt like that happened with me. I mean, it was more like of what's going on here. You know, I'm in such pain, right? That something has to shift, right? It
Mhm.
was just so much. There was so much. It was an attack on myself, and I still attack myself there with self-talk. I mean, there's not a day that, I mean, it's very normal that we have this self-talk that goes against what we want to have in life. And
Mhm.
what really that this universe and this God or whatever you want to call is really wanting from us. We have this great potential, but to have that talk, you know, and like you're saying, you're coming to the point where something shifts, and I can really see that. And I was thinking this morning how we have this just amazing, enormous potential, and how we show up is how much we get. Like if we show up at 50% belief of that, then we only get the 50% of the gifts that the universe wants to give or that we will bring into our lives. It's like this vibration we vibrate out, you know, at this level of potential, and whatever we're vibrating out, it's going to come back at the amount of potential that we believe in ourselves, because we're blocking our own potential.
Oh,
So
I agree with that. I agree. I think that, I mean, there's talk about our I am power, and I don't think that people necessarily really stop and take in what that means. We literally are thinking and speaking our reality into existence. And if our dominant talk is negative, it really behooves us to identify what we're doing with our I am power. And so we could be saying, I am a loser. I am worthless. I am in pain. I am cursed. All sorts of things. And the universe is just simply mirroring back and saying, and so it is. And so it is. And so it is. And literally, if we identify, because like when you said I am in pain, I was thinking about this very recently. If we realize that most everybody is in pain, so then being in pain is not special. We're not special in our pain. And and we still have a choice in the moment to decide, instead of affirming I am in pain, I am in pain, I am in pain, I am still blessed. I am still blessed because the fact that I know that I'm in pain suggests that I'm alive, and I am grateful that I am alive. So that truth can supersede the I am in pain. The I am in pain can still be there. However, it is no longer the dominant place that we're focused. So, because it's like, okay, you are, so, join the club. We all are, and they say misery loves company. And then we isolate and we're like licking our wounds, and like nobody gets us and nobody understands us is not really the point. The point is that, like Abraham Hicks, you know who Abraham Hicks is? My favorite Abraham Hicks quote is, "Stop telling God how big your problems are. Instead, tell your problems how big your God is." So it's a shift in focus, it's a shift in mindset, and it's a claiming of our power. It's like, I get to choose what I'm going to put my attention on. I get to choose what I'm going to focus on. I get to choose the way that I want to feel and the way that I want to vibrate. And so that's where our power is. That's where we can move from victim to conscious creator, because we can identify, oh, I'm feeling really bad right now. And we can either decide we're stuck there and we just have to ride it out, or we can consciously work our way out of it by moving up the scale to go, I get to feel. How grateful am I that I get to feel? So then I'm grateful. So then I am grateful has a much higher vibrational value than I am in pain. And so it's a practice to keep doing it until it becomes second nature, to where, as soon as I feel like I'm in pain, I start going to work. Because I don't want to hang out there. It's too depressing.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Because that's all you see. And
Yeah,
that's the way the brain works. I mean,
right,
when you get up and you say, this day sucks, right? So then your brain works on proving that, okay, just like you said, you
right,
sent the message out. Now it's going to be, reality is going to be developed around that message.
right, right. So if we decide that I am so grateful that I get to be a character in the divine play. I'm so grateful that I get to be here. The best thing that I can do then is decide to love my character. Instead of cursing my character, instead of feeling, cursed and not blessed and stuff, to go, wow, my character has some pretty interesting personality traits and quirks and challenges and all sorts of things. And so it's like the first step in order to receive love from the world, we have to love ourselves. And so deciding to fall in love with our character and become fascinated by it rather than ashamed of it, and start to celebrate being who we are, that puts us ahead of the game.
Right. And that's something I want to talk about. I mean, we have to love ourselves first before we can love others. I mean, in a really true, in a big way, in something deeper, in a deeper way. And I do have some, I wanted to share some of your beautiful songs. Now, let me try to do it. I was trying
Okay.
a minute ago to put it on a different browser because I thought maybe that will do it, but who knows? I don't see why it's not really letting me.
Given the conversation we're having, I think the second one is probably more appropriate right now.
Well, let me see if I can get it even to do it. I don't know why it's not really giving me any good options here. But okay, let me see here. Okay, I'm going to share the screen, and we just know that we are perfectly imperfect here. That I am, and so is Tess.
We are.
We're just doing the best that we can. Okay, so now I'm going to share the entire screen. So I'm going to here. All right, here is one. I did pull it up on another thing, though. Let me see where the darn thing is right here. Okay, so we have this one or this one. Now, can you see?
Yeah.
Now, okay.
Do the other one. You have the
Okay,
other one?
and now I'm not sure if you can hear. Please let us know, whoever's watching, if you can. Whoops, what happened? I didn't do it right. Let me know if we can,
Yeah.
if you all can hear this. This one, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to play it, and I'm going to pray.
Turn it up.
Somewhere in a world of fear, there's a mama holding baby so near. Somewhere in a world of shame, there's a little boy just learning his name. Somewhere in a world of hate, there is so much more to celebrate. It's a big, big world out there. It's a big, big world out there. It's a big, big world out there. What is your attention on?
Little distorted.
Somewhere in a world of greed, there's a farmer who is planting a seed. Somewhere in a world of sin, there's an innocence that's living within. Somewhere in a world of loss, there's a wave of faith that's sweeping across. It's a big, big world there. It's a big, big world out there. It's a big, big world out there. What is your attention on? What is your attention on? People are hungry, people are lonely, people are homeless too. We're meeting folks who can't sleep at night, like tormented by what to do. Cause if you live by the news and you're stuck with the blues, sure that all that you view is true. These are things that you see and the thoughts that you breathe, and remember your gratitude. There the mindful grace of God go I. Gotta break the chain of pain and never let you know there is much more good out here than we even conscious of. Wanna see a better world, and focus is the key. For the thoughts we entertain in truth shall set us free. Somewhere in a world of pain, there are healing prayers falling like rain. Somewhere in a world at war, there's a dark piece that's ready to soar. Somewhere in a world gone wrong, there's a child gonna sing a song. It's a big, big world out there. It's a big, big world out there. It's a big, big world out there. What is your attention on? What is your attention on? What is your attention? What is your attention? What is your attention on? What is your attention on? Think about it. There's so much good out here.
Wonderful. I love that. Oh,
Thank
all
you.
right.
I don't
See,
think it sounded that great out here. It was kind of muffled and
really?
out. Yeah. Yeah. But
Well,
I put a link to my music and my Facebook page on the chat. So
okay, great.
mhm.
Well, all right. I'm gonna put that in here. As well, anyway, I'm just going to say that this is the first time that we're doing it, and I'm not doing it right. So it's funny. Everything was going well, but you never know. Like I'm the actor in this play, and so anyway, all sorts of little quirks happened right before. So anyway, we're getting it done. I'm going to put this on here.
And the choice to just roll with it and not use it as an excuse to beat yourself up or anything. That's what I'm talking about. It's like we're just playing our parts, and the divine is using us and is having a good time, and part of our ego healing is to be willing to look silly and not perfect and not professional, and it's okay. We're human. We're doing the human thing. So
Right, we are. And we have to understand that there are going to be bumps in the road, right? We're all going to have challenges. The question is, how do we handle these challenges when they pop up?
right.
So
That's right.
Yeah. And now I'm having a challenge over here. But I'm going to just scroll this one right here on because I think maybe, let me see. Now, let me know if this is right.
Yes.
Okay. So, and then I wanted to try to put on your, the other, would you want me to put the reverberation?
Yeah, because my music is there.
Okay, got it. And so tell me about your connection to Mother Earth and your journey there, Tess. How did this even start? Were your parents very connected to Mother Earth?
No, I wouldn't say so. I was raised in, my parents were Holocaust survivors, so they were pretty devastated people. In those years, people didn't go for therapy to process their stuff. They just picked up the pieces and tried to look and act as normal as possible. And so there was a lot of unprocessed pain in both of them. And the home that we lived in New York City had very small concrete backyard with the brick wall of the building next to it, and a tall wooden fence, and a neighbor next door that they had a falling out with, and so there was a bit of sort of hostile energy coming from the next door. So um, I had really very little connection to the earth, other than an awareness of things like pollution was a big topic as I was growing up. And and then I moved out to Los Angeles when I was 30 to continue my pursuit of my acting career. And I met a man that became my husband, and he was very connected to nature. So he took me hiking and yoga and new age spirituality and all this kind of stuff. And so that really opened me up. And um, when I started to work on, what does peace feel like in my body? Because as a child of Holocaust survivors, I'm sort of a natural born peace ambassador. And I came into the world with epigenetic PTSD inherited from my parents. And my dad used to like put a ruler across the top of my hand because he would notice how much my hands would shake, and he would put a ruler to watch the ruler shake, and would like ask me why I was like that, which was so ironic that like it was like, because you passed all your stuff on to me. And so, but when I was living in California, I started to like put my hands on the earth to feel, what does peace feel like in my body? And I had this intuitive understanding that it required me um, uh, uh, regulating myself to the frequency of the earth, which has an inherent stillness in it. So living out in California, started to open up to a sensitivity to the earth as a living thing. And in fact, the wonderful song "Colors of the Wind" from Pocahontas is a song I wish I wrote, because it so speaks. We think it's just a dead thing that we can claim, and it's not. And then things started happening out here, like the San Onofre nuclear power plant, which is on a fault line, and they wanted to bury the nuclear waste, and then the pipeline, the Dakota pipeline in Black Rock. So all of these things, what happens for me as a songwriter is, if there's a cause that's topical, it's like that the muse gets activated in me, and something needs to be expressed. And so I started to recognize myself as a vessel for the earth, and what she has to say to all of us, you know.
Well, that's beautiful. Yes. And to be where you are and see where you grew from, with the trauma that you were born into, and how you explored and how you came to where you are today, and to express through your beautiful creative outlets, and to sing the songs from Mother Earth is amazing. And like the song you just did, it's really it really makes people think, where are you? What are you focused on? Right. And all, and you're really expressing this throughout your life. And so what kind of changes, or what have you done to be an ambassador for Mother Earth? I mean, what would you say to people that might be watching? What are your recommendations for helping Mother Earth on
Well,
a daily basis?
on a what?
On a daily basis.
Well, certainly opting for a vegan lifestyle is core as far as I'm concerned, because I think that humanity has a certain arrogance in so far as having been desensitized to the the right to be here of every sentient being. There's a word that has arisen, like racism, called speciesism. Like, we think that we're better, and we think that we're more entitled to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness than our fellow creatures. And well, I feel like I have the added benefit of having been guided to do two very long prayer and water fasts in my life. I've done a 40 and a 30-day prayer and water fast. And my consciousness shifted profoundly during those experiences, because the longer I went without eating, the better I felt. And the more sensitive I became. And certainly becoming vegan was a part of that sensitization process. But what I realized is that, as this being a dream play, and quantum physics has shown that we are 99.99999% empty space. So we are really miraculous, projected holographic characters on the stage. And everything that's here is placebo. It's like, okay, we're playing human. And so we're going to work for a living, and we're going to eat, and we need these things in order to survive, in order to thrive. And the fasting showed me that really photosynthesis is enough, and that I am supported and sustained here by the intelligence that animated me. Everything else is set design and set decoration. And because I have been blessed with the miracle of being given a body as a vehicle to move around in, I have also been blessed with the gift of my senses, my smell, my taste buds, my ability to chew. And so food is a pleasure that I get to enjoy while I'm here. Like, I have no interest in becoming a breatharian, because it's one of the greatest pleasures of being in a body, is getting to eat and drink wonderful things. But what it did was show me I don't need food. It's not a necessity. It's a pleasure. It's a get to. It's not a have to. And consequently, I don't need to take any other life in order to sustain mine. So if I so why should I kill anything? Why should I and plus, having done digestive cleanses in my life, I was made aware of, like, because I first became vegetarian before I became vegan, and I did that for health reasons. I had done a digestive cleanse, and my intention was to go back to eating meat. But then once it was out of my system, I could feel what the density of the meat did to my body, the sluggishness, the lethargy, like all the things that happened as a result of eating meat. And as I researched, and of course all the films started coming out, the documentaries about factory farming, and to realize the terror, the grief, the rage that these animals that understand what's happening to them and happening to their brothers and sisters, we're ingesting that in our body as we take that in. And so it started to make sense to me that life begets life and death begets death. If I eat death, then I'm keeping myself in the food chain, and eventually I'm going to need to be food for something else. And if I want to awaken from the hypnosis of mortal reality into my true divine nature, then I'm entertaining conversations of immortality. If I'm entertaining conversations of immortality, it doesn't make sense for me to eat death. It only makes sense for me to eat life. And so if I'm going to eat, I'm going to eat living fruits and vegetables, or I don't have to eat at all and I can just live on light. But there's just no reason to participate in death. So that's and not only is it the animals and the messing with the hormones and the reproductive systems and throwing the whole thing off balance. And then I read the World Peace Diet by Dr. William Tuttle, and in the most gentle tones, he described how we're never going to have peace on the planet as long as we see any sentient being as separate than us, and we're conducting these daily genocides, slaughter every single day, so unconsciously. So it just added up to me that not only for the animals but also for the planet, because the noxious gases and the fields that are cleared to feed the cattle, like all that could go to feed people, and we would restore the balance of the planet if we stopped this mass production for slaughter.
Yes, the environmental impact is incredible of
Mhm.
animal agriculture. We've lost almost half of our earth, our planet, to raising cattle. And people get upset about soy, but there's only a small percentage of those soy crops that we as humans eat. That soy is cultivated for animals. So there's so much that just the typical person is unaware of. When I've asked people how much of the land on this planet do you think has been taken up by animal agriculture, most say 5 or 10%. They're not aware. It's almost 50%. So
Right.
there's an awareness that is just not known, and it's hidden, and it's sad.
Yeah, and I believe that the planet herself is intelligent and has the absolute ability to regenerate and heal, which was shown when COVID started and all industry got shut down, which was my dream. Like I had said it a couple years before, if the whole world would take a moratorium from industrial production for a week, the planet would have a chance to right itself. And then sure enough, all the smog was gone in Los Angeles. And in Venice, Italy, there were dolphins that were coming into where the gondolas are and the canals, and all the water pollution was dissipated. And it was like, oh my God, the world is having an opportunity to see this. Maybe this is going to be the big shift. And then as soon as it could go back to business as usual, it went, and it was just like astonishing to me.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes, it was amazing the way that the planet started healing.
Yeah,
It was
very
beautiful.
quickly, right away. It
Right.
didn't take long. Yeah.
No, it didn't. And so
Mm-mm.
I'm apologizing for my brother walking behind us. Everybody, that was him. He doesn't like to be on air, but I guess he does today. So anyway, yeah, but we have the impact. Every choice that we make is powerful, and that's a very, that's one of the big reasons that I'm vegan, is for the planet and for our health. Living foods are, everyone can hear you. You're very loud over there. Anyway, for the living foods, when we eat things that are alive, we're so attracted. And when you think about a strawberry and how beautiful and vibrant those colors are, it's amazing. So, and our bodies respond to that. And I just actually had Angela Fischetti on to my church, and she talked about how on her journey, how she had tumors and they were reversed. Giant tumors reversed by natural means of diet and everything that we're talking about, this natural lifestyle connection to earth.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So, what would you say to someone, Tess, that is feeling very disconnected to Earth? What would be some first steps to take to connect back to Mother Earth and connect back to themselves and to support their life better?
Honestly, I think first lying down on your back on a lawn and just feeling the support of the body of the mother and allow all the tension and all the stress and all the angst to drain out and be reabsorbed into the earth, because mostly we're carrying things that don't belong to us, and we're worrying about things that are stealing our peace. And if we slow down enough to get reconnected to nature, then we can realize ourselves as part of that nature, not these like free radicals that were just dropped here and to fend for ourselves. We are part of the ecosystem. And so by slowing down and breathing, deeply breathing and exhaling and starting to notice what we're carrying in our bodies, we start to get a sense of the support that is actually here for us. And it awakens a sensitivity and a gentleness and a communion. I mean, it's like the longer I have been vegan, the longer I have been cultivating my inner peace, the more animals come to me, and that's a litmus test for me. It's like animals that are not programmed and adulterated the way we are. They are just energetically sensitive. And so if you are in alignment with your true vibration, not the sped up manic one, you return to being part of the ecosystem.
You're right. And so many of us have nature deficit disorder, especially in these days where we're not even, we don't even go outside at all and touch the earth. And
Yes.
as humans, as people, we are connected to her. So we're starving and we wonder what is going on in our lives. Why am I feeling so depleted of energy, right? If we're taking in food that is pain, the food that's pain, we take that in and then we disconnect from everything that's our natural being. And we don't understand why we're feeling tired and upset and angry.
And then we take pharmaceuticals to try to, dull the indigestion and all the things that are going on in our body, because we're not even present with ourselves when we're eating, because we're like eating on the run. And everything is sacred, everything. And it's like it's our mindset that causes things to be sacred or profane. And so we get to choose. And if we choose to move through our experience with mindfulness and putting our loving, grateful attention on everything we do, then we are going to be a lot more considerate about what we do before we do it.
Yes, and that I wanted to make sure that we talk about this a little bit because I see we're coming to the end of the hour. I want to talk about why you said in your post that everyone should be forgiven. I mean, what do you mean everyone should be forgiven?
Well, I actually said everyone must be
forgiven.
forgiven.
Must be forgiven.
Yeah. Well, again, if we go back to the concept that we are all actors in the divine play, then from my acting training, in order for there to be drama, there has to be conflict. There has to be good and evil, bad guys and good guys, darkness and light. And so, and it has been said that Lucifer is God's favorite angel, right? And so it requires a really strong light to be willing to portray darkness for the sake of the play. So I will assert that each and every one of us is innocent at a core level, that it is our programming and our hurt and our indoctrination that causes us to be angry, to be bitter, to be vengeful, and act out and in those ways. And at an essential level, every single one of us is a divine soul, and we're all one. So, that is another myself, and that is another myself, and that is another myself. And so even the most heinous behavior on the planet, if I hold myself separate from it, there is no opportunity to return to the oneness. I'm holding my heart hard. And in my hard-heartedness, there is no space for healing to take place and the veil to dissolve between us, to see that is another myself over there. That is a hurt version of me that needs love. I mean, in the indigenous tribes, you've probably heard this before, that when a member of the tribe behaved badly, instead of ostracizing them, they would put them in the middle of the circle and they would sing their soul song to them over and over and over until whatever hardness was inside them would dissolve, to remember the truth of who they are, their divine nature. Because the reason people feel the need to take from one another is because they feel deprived, because they don't know their own connection to source. So if instead of we want to judge and punish that, we have compassion for it, that to me is the quickest way for us to move back into harmony on this planet.
Well, you're so true. I mean, you're so right here. I have a friend that's in prison, and he's there because of pain and suffering. He has a beautiful heart, and so it's easy to judge, but we struggle at times. We don't make the best decisions, and to nurture that person, people that are in prison, they're hurt. When we see exactly like you're saying, I mean, we're connected to everyone. When they rise, we rise.
Yes.
Right.
And our Creator has a purpose for everyone that exists. So if Creator didn't want those people here, they wouldn't exist. And so for us to take it upon ourselves, like the Bible says, judge not lest ye be judged, right? And so we bring harm onto ourselves when victim becomes victimizer because we think we want to retaliate. And now we are like embodying the same traits as those people that we want to punish. So it's a lose-lose.
It is a lose-lose. When we lift ourselves up, when we lift someone that's struggling up, we all win.
Yes.
Right? Because when we oppress and we beat them down, what's going to happen? Let's just say the people in prison, we just oppress them, we don't let them grow, and we just continue to just focus on everything they did wrong instead of helping them and guiding them and nurturing. Then we're just hurting ourselves when they come out.
That's right.
I mean, we're hurting. Everyone loses. So
it's true.
I mean, everyone is divine. And the question is, are they able to recognize it, right? I mean, so many people are beautiful and they just don't see it and they don't allow it to grow, right? And my heart goes out to them. I'm saying this in a non-judgmental way. I'm saying that they can't see it. So I think the more that we can support others like you're doing, and the more that we embrace all and forgive all, I mean, what a beautiful energy to be in.
I agree. Yes.
So Tess, I see that we are coming up on the end of the hour. I want you to give your final thoughts and also let everyone know where they can find you.
Okay. Well, I did put my Facebook, sending me a direct message is probably the best way to get a hold of me on Facebook Messenger. And I did put in a link for my music. I'm also on all the major platforms. And I have my own weekly live stream that I've been doing on Facebook. I've done 48 consecutive weeks now. It's called Voices of the Global Awakening, Tuesdays with Tes. And it is available on my profile page as well as my Facebook group, the Universal Temple of Expanding Consciousness. So, it's just, honestly, it's about continuing to open up, to allow ourselves to be ambassadors for the one who sent us, and to not be shy about that, and to realize that each and every one of us has a divine purpose here. And if, as I said, if we weren't supposed to be here, we wouldn't be here. And as long as we're here, as long as we have breath in our body, we have an opportunity to use our power and be a force of good. And we can turn it around in any instant. So no matter how far off course life may have taken us, we, as a character in the play, we get to have that turning point where we get to come back and be a hero, be a heroine, be something beautiful for this world.
Amen to that. We all have a choice. And I love, I have some wonderful ladies that are making a difference. JJ has got the Knowledge Channel. And you'd be a great guest for JJ if you don't know her.
Hi, JJ.
She would love to have you
Hit
on the
me
show.
up.
Yeah. Y'all would love each other. And Ellen, she's making big changes in her community. So with the plant-based eating, really educating. So y'all, it is amazing when we come together and recognize each other. So Tes, you're going to have to come back on.
Yeah. I would love that.
And now that we got all the bumps out, my brother walking through, making a lot of noise, and all the newness here. So we'll come back on and talk, and I'll get it where we can hear the music better.
Yeah, there's probably a setting for music, like they have on Zoom. They have a musician's setting that makes it come through much more clearly.
Right.
But the links are there so people can go get the music directly. And
right. And yeah, definitely follow Tes, and please hit subscribe, y'all. This is the first one, Harmonic Earth Healers, and because we are really trying to connect people back to Mother Earth, and that's why I thought Tes would be perfect for this live stream.
Yeah, I wish we had time for the other song because it really speaks
to
it.
We can do it. Let's do it.
You want to do it? Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to do it. And if however it comes across, it's just going to have to be that way. Okay, let me see here. Share screen. Let me try to get over here and do it again. Entire screen. And now we're going to do that. And I'm going to try to get it going here. Okay, message to the people, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, my breath and fire, my spirit, earth, my body, warmth, my blood. Yeah, my breath and fire, my spirit, earth, my body, warmth, my blood. Yeah, my breath and fire, my spirit, earth, my body, water, my blood. Yeah, my breath and fire, my spirit, earth, my body, water, my blood. Message to the people from your mother earth. Time to rise from sleep, recall the source of your true birth. The air you breathe by exhale, your body is made of mud. Please look beyond the veil, now feel my water is your blood. My water is your blood. And my breath and fire, my spirit, earth, my body, water, my blood. And my breath and fire, my spirit, earth, my body, water, my blood. You can detoxify my system. We all descend to hell. Awaken or protect it. I try to make you see. Connected to the planet, they're representing me. In my breath and fire, my spirit, earth, my body, warm my blood. In my breath and fire, my spirit, earth, my body, warm my blood. Earth, my body, warm my blood. Don't wondering my life, Lord. God created every resource. Short sighted and misguided. You're leaving me no recourse. Turn back and change your ways before it gets too late. You can't desecrate your mother and expect no proofs to pay. In my breath and fire, my spirit, earth, my body, warm my blood. In my breath and fire, my spirit, earth, my body, warm my blood. Water, we save the water. Water, I save the water.
That was a wonderful way to end. Thank you. I'm so glad that you said that because I wasn't sure how well we could hear it. So, but I heard it great. So
You heard it great. It wasn't so great out here.
selfishly for me, I heard it great. But so now everybody's got to go check out Tes
Yeah,
again.
well, you know what, hon, I just realized
Uh-huh.
is that where I was posting my links was in the private chat between you and me. And I just switched over to comments and I tried to put the links in and it's not letting me.
Oh, okay. Well, on the YouTube is where we'll put the link should be in the description of the YouTube that I made. On the
Okay. Well, I mean, it's at the bottom. It's there's a banner at the bottom where it is.
right, Reverberation, right? But yes, we'll go back and put the links in. Definitely, I'll check on the YouTube description. It should be there. So when you read it. All right. Well, this is wonderful. And thank you, Brain Jim. So this was very enlightening and definitely Tes will be back and we'll see what will be revealed that day.
Yes, indeed. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Right. And thanks everybody, y'all. Bye.
Bye-bye, everybody. Take care.